Hello and welcome to a quick GameGuru video. I just want to show a particular technique and not go on too much about other features of GameGuru. It's about grass and how to paint grass. Now very quickly I'm just going to flatten an area and I'm going to place a start marker, so that's where I start when I play my game. And were we to play it now, there'd be no grass in the scene. Even though it looks, this green stuff might look like grass, it actually is just rather flat. In fact, I'll demonstrate that right now by running around. The landscape I've just carved, and as you can see from the floor, it's very flat, like so. But what you want is some lovely grass. So let me just improve the scene a bit. I don't like the huge walls. Let's go back to flatten, take a higher point. There you go. And now what we're going to do is press this icon here, paint grass. You select that and just paint it down luminous green. Now what you'll notice almost right away with this technique is there's not much control. Yes, you can change the size of the brush and have like a little bit of grass like this. Let's have an L shape like so, and we'll use our start marker and point it in that direction so that when we walk forward we'll see this L shape and maybe a little dot. Now if I run it, you've just told the map anywhere it's luminous green I would like grass there, and it will grow the grass. So you can see you've got some grass where before it was just flat, and that little L shape we were talking about is like this little travel of grass, and over here and then a little blob. Now there's things you can do to affect the grass, and if you use tab you get this lovely series of sliders, and there's a few that you can mess about with. There's one here, vegetation. This vegetation slider here controls how much vegetation to the distance you want to see. But perhaps more interesting, look, vegetation quantity. If I increase it from 50 to 100, calculate a lot of extra geometry for the grass, and there you go, you get a lot more grass. You could even increase the width of the grass. It defaults at 50, but you can make it twice as wide. And you can have the vegetation height, maybe set that to 75, a little bit higher. Press tab again to get rid, and now you're running around in a sea of grass. You can hardly see the floor anymore, but the floor and the grass complement each other quite nicely, so it kind of works. And now that L shape looks more full, like so, you see, really nice. And of course you can do other things with the grass very quickly. I'll demonstrate that. You don't have to have that kind of grass. There's vegetation types, so you can go from lush to say grass 2 or grass 8, or weeds. Remember there's some weeds there. Wild grass, brown shrubs, lawn grass. It goes on and on. You can have whatever you want. Similar with the terrain. Let's say you don't want that kind of green. You can maybe go for a different kind of green. So that's like a forest floor kind of green, or a jungle, which is that kind of green. So you can see you've got a lot of choices when it comes to what the grass looks like, the density of the grass, how big the grass is, and how it arrives on your terrain. But there remains a problem, doesn't there? It's like this is just splatted down. There's no finesse, there's no fine grain placing one blade of grass down in your world. No, if you consider how big the world can be, do you really want to place individual blades of grass all over your world? Probably not. Splatting it down in this mode is probably more than sufficient. But sometimes you want to be able to have a lot of control over grass, and I'll show you how to do that now. I'm going to drop in a building. It's got auto flatten enabled, so it should flatten the floor for me. So jink, put it down there. If we go back to grass mode, you see that the grass is going all the way through that building. And the reason I make mention of that is if I put my start marker next to the building and run it, you're going to see the problem immediately. So let's say, oh, nice building. Let's go in our nice building, and it's now full of grass. It's like, ah! Now, yes, you could go in the editor and then paint all the green out of the interior of the building, and you'd probably get it mostly right. But there is another way. In GameGuru, in the test game mode, there's something called F9 mode. If you press F9, it brings up this terrain mode menu, and you'll notice there's numbers and letters and symbols underneath these little icons, and you'll notice there's a little green icon with 0 under it. If you press 0, obviously don't see any change. However, when I left click, I'm now painting some grass down. See? And if I hold down shift, I remove the grass when I left click. Like so. So knowing this knowledge, I can now reduce the size of this cursor, hold down shift, and just remove the bits of grass that I'm interested in removing. So let me put the gravity back on so I can go in the building. And hold down shift, I can remove grass, like so. Yep, so we keep painting it, that's gone. And over here, gone, gone, gone. And effectively what you have, you see this would be something, let's say you're doing it in the editor, you may not notice that the grass that was on the outside is big, so it's leaked in on the inside. And that way you can actually use your shift and left mouse button with grass mode to ensure the fact that when you finished, this is as if you were playing the game. If I press F9 now, look, I'm playing the game. I'm in the game, but I was able to edit my grass environment in real time. And now there's no grass inside the building, and yet grass remains on the outside, so everybody's happy. So those are the main control systems you have for vegetation in terms of how they look, how much of it there is, how big the individual blades are, and how to edit them both in the editor mode and also in the F9 mode. So hopefully this was a little bit useful in figuring out how grass works. And as you can see here, you can come back to the editor and then you say, oh well, I can get it a little bit closer, and then you can do some more editing like that. And just keep going backwards and forwards as you see fit, and maybe leave some grass out of there so you can have a little path, so you can change the texture there, little path going to your door, and then going off into another adventure. So that's grass. I hope this video was useful, and absolutely, if you've got any other questions about other aspects of GameGuru, just go onto the forums or email or support or whatever it happens to be, and I'll make another video for you to illustrate it directly. So I hope this was useful, and until the next video, I'll say goodbye.